Hi everyone, Z Razak here at Baker Street Property Meet, February 2024. We even got the welcoming committee here, Tracy, who loves getting the VIP status. I haven't got my pass yet, but I'm sure it'll be coming. Tracy, you love welcoming all the entrepreneurs in, don't you?
Yes, we're welcoming everybody into this February.
I love it. And Tracy wanted to be on here, and she'll be loving seeing the stuff with Ranjan and Co downstairs and Andrew Roberts when we're interviewing entrepreneurs. Don't you love Baker Street Property Meet? You meet people from all over the place. Right, we've got our first person interviewing, one of the persons who presented on the stage today, Emma. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Emma's got quite a bit of an inspirational story. I'm quite inspired. I was talking about it today in my post. Emma, great interview that you had with the audience and all the rest of it. You answered so much value. If you were going to do your number one property strategy for 2024, sorry to put you on the spot, what would it be?
It would be flipping, absolutely. Like, my main strategy is flipping. I'm going to carry on with it this year and then reassess everything from December. So yeah, my main strategy is flipping, so go for it.
For some of the audience who may not know, flipping is buying properties, adding value and then selling them. What we call classic property development. You trigger a lot of tax off that way.
You do, yeah, of course.
Have you structured it in the most efficient way?
You've got to structure it in the best way possible.
Okay, and obviously from a finance background that you've had, so has that helped you with your property journey?
It absolutely has, because at the end of the day with property, you know, it's all about financial management, looking at the cost, looking at the refurb, you know, that financial analysis on every deal possible. So being able to do that quick and efficiently has definitely helped me.
Have you, now when you use your money to go again, obviously you're triggering, I assume you've got a group structure set up?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, have you got a SaaS set up?
No, but I will be after tonight.
Okay, you should get advice. Watch my videos on Sky TV, which I did about SaaS. The reason being is you can utilize that in handing over the group. And also, especially if I guess you've got a development company, a trading entity. Have you got a separate investment, or have you joined them together?
We're actually just in the process of doing that now.
What, together or separate?
No, separate.
Fantastic, I love that. She's had good advice, because a lot of people make a mistake there. And setting up the investment, are you setting up as a family investment company?
No, because actually they're just me. So,
in the future,
maybe.
It's been smart, because inheritance tax.
Yes, exactly.
And currently how the rules are. So you look like you've got a lot of aspects, and you're doing flipping. Are you involved in any other property strategies?
No, for me solely, you know, I just do flipping. I love, you know, the transformation between before and after. But I think going forward in 2025, I think things are going to change slightly.
Wow, so much value. And also, you're still quite a young property entrepreneur, and you're inspiring, obviously, other young ladies who want to get involved in property.
Fingers crossed.
Am I allowed to say you're late 20s, you said?
29.
29, as they said on there. This is great, and this is inspiration. If you ever hear from Emma, you're on LinkedIn?
Yes, I am, yeah.
And is there certain stuff you're looking for?
To be fair, just anything that has got a really good margin in. You know, I love to buy off market. I love to buy, you know, below market value as well. Obviously, within the Yorkshire region, so anything like that, you know, tickles my fancy.
And she corrected me, Barnsley is your favourite area.
It is. My hometown.
Hometown, and that's where you do your property development?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that where you're also looking to invest in property to hold?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think I'm going to stick with more Barnsley, Wakefield and Huddersfield area.
Love it. And you can connect with Emma through LinkedIn and all the different aspects. We're going to tag her into the post, and hope you got good value for it. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks.
Perfect. Right, we've got Andrew Roberts here, Baker Street, February 2024, and this is what we're going to talk about, the market update. And Andrew is going to tell us all the value. What's the big snippets, Andrew? Tell the audience.
The big snippets are rents are rising, landlords are exiting the market, margins are widening, and property prices are falling. So Z, take your pick.
I think I would love to start on the property prices falling, because the stats are saying they slightly increased last month. Is that what's your view on that from what you're feeling?
Well, it depends on what stats you look at. There's lots of different stats out there.
Yeah.
You've got the Office of National Statistics. Well, that is after completion of a transaction.
Right.
You've got the mortgage lenders, which is when they've made an offer. You've then got the estate agents, which is when somebody's made an offer on a property. So which set of stats are you looking at, Z? That is what I say.
I'm looking at the stats that have been reported by everybody recently. They're
Yeah.
all stating that the unofficial stats are saying increase, but I think you made a really good point on what is included in those numbers.
Exactly.
There's a lot of aborted
Yeah.
deals that are not being included, so they're not telling us the whole picture as per usual. So you don't believe them,
Well,
basically.
The way I look at it is the Halifax stats that were launched
Yeah.
today. So this will be in 2 days past. They are referring to transactions that were entered into in August of last year.
Wow.
So that is based on an average conveyance time. So based on that, you are effectively looking at quite historic data. When you look at pipelines based on what agents are saying offers are, the offers and the prices are dropping from August. So you are going to see that play out throughout the course of this year.
Andrew makes a huge point there, the time delay of information, and that's why I was asking what he's seen on the ground, because he's so active in property. He's seen what entrepreneurs are doing, he's advising, coaching so many entrepreneurs. In your opinion, do you feel 2024 have an uplift in price of properties, a flat or a drop?
Were you not here last month and watched the video?
But a lot of things changed from last month to
A lot
now
of things have
because
changed.
it's moving so quick.
Do you know what? I will stick my neck out and say I think prices are still going to be flatline this year. They're going to remain flatline because, as I covered earlier, we've got inflation where everybody's saying, oh, we're almost on 2% target because it's going down. Well, next month you're going to see in the next data that's reported it going up because energy prices and fuel prices have gone up. We'll then see a couple of months of falls. We'll then see April, May's data, where 1st of April you've got all the people on benefits. Their benefits increased by inflation that was the inflation rate in October, so quite a high figure. You've then got most employers giving their pay rises, which become effective from April. So we're going to see a spike in service inflation kick in. So these are things that are easily predictable, but a lot of people just look at it and go, oh, the downward trajectory is that, so it'll keep going.
I agree. I think Andrew's had huge value. Last major question. When we say properties staying flat, in real reality, they're actually dropping because of inflation. That's why
Correct.
Andrew was spending a lot of time on inflation. But I want to ask a specific question between two parts of the sector. It's not as geographical, but residential and commercial, because their markets are very different.
Yeah.
Do you see, because everyone talks about residential generally, but they don't talk about commercial because it's a bit more complicated and a bit more niche. Generally, commercial this year, flatline or dropping? Or increasing?
It's going to continue to drop. We have evidence of that in yesterday's FT article where a block in Canary Wharf was sold at 60%
Wow.
off the list
Wow.
price. So that's 60% fall in price. Again, I've got a block where it was bought for 12 million.
Yep.
12 months ago, they're now selling it for 2 million.
Love it.
That is an example of the contrasts of price drops that are happening in commercial. Residential won't fall in the same way. It won't fall for the very simple reason you've got investors, you've got demand to supply, you've got serviced accommodation, holiday lets, short lets, which is also in demand. You've then got homeowners, so you've got different people that could all occupy the same building.
I think one of the key things, and a good reminder, Andrew, is about the blocks. And a lot of people don't understand the implication of blocks. I'm assuming Andrew's had good advice on how to structure that deal, because blocks is quite a huge value. You're looking buying the freehold, I assume.
Yeah.
Of course, and then restructuring, doing the title split and all the rest of the fund, and doing the
All
uplift.
that later.
Excellent. So important to structure those, having a group structure, because if you don't do that, you're going to get hammered, aren't you? You're going to lose a lot of money.
Well, you can hemorrhage VAT, you can hemorrhage stamp duty.
Is it mixed, your block? Has it got commercial, or is
No,
it?
it's just an office.
Oh, it's currently an office. Oh, right, it's a block, it's not a block of flats.
It will be.
It will be, right? Because what Andrew's also thinking about is probably capital allowances, right? Depending on commercial use and aspect, and whether are you doing a mix? Are you going to keep some as commercial, potentially?
A small element, yes.
Love it. So important. Make sure you get advice. How much uplift are you looking on this deal, potentially? Are you allowed to say yet?
That would be rude to say, but let's be like this. It will be 8 figures.
Wow, that's a monster. 12 million last year, 2 million now. And he's obviously looking at the rent roll that he's going to drive all that fun. I love it. That's huge value. You heard it from himself. He obviously does a bit of advice on that. And if you're lucky, you might get him to help you do some of your deals. Andrew, thank you for the market update. We love it.
Update. And
love it.
All I can say is, hey guys, stay tuned.
As I keep on saying, Baker Street, February 2024, we've got the main man, we've done the double act, Ranjan, he's going to give us a bit of insight on today's event and what his plans are for 2024. You didn't know the last part, but I'll bring that in. Ranjan, thank you as always. And I know you've been grilled by loads of people already, so we're going to cut to the thing. To this month, obviously, things are changing constantly. What is the strategy that you would recommend for in February 2024 for this year? What would you think is going to be the biggest difference maker for many?
I think the key thing about this year is the buyer's market in many areas. Properties are taking longer to sell. People are more open to, vendors are open to creative strategies and deal structures. Commercial property is really tanking, particularly larger commercial units.
When you say larger, what cost-wise are you looking at?
Anything more than 10,000 square foot is struggling, quite frankly, in terms of values, in asset values.
Right.
We've got PD coming in to convert larger buildings into residential use. At the moment, you can only convert up to 1,500 square meters.
Right.
Under PD, that's likely to change in March. So you've got a great coming together of a buyer's market, the growth of creative deal structures and creative strategies, the tanking of larger commercial buildings. But coming alongside of that is in March is loosening of PD restrictions, which will allow you to convert larger spaces to residential use. So a lot of things are aligning together for some great opportunities.
They're quite complicated property deals, aren't they? So when they get bigger, you need the knowledge. Normally it's probably recommendable to do a smaller one, get the feel, and then get a lot of mentorship and understanding, because there's a lot of complications. I know you make it sound easy, king of commercial, as I say. The thing I wanted to also talk about, and I mentioned before, I've seen he's done a video, so you may follow him on his channel, the 99% mortgages. Everyone's going on about it at the moment, when it comes in and all the rest of it. What's your view on this 99% mortgages, a 1% deposit, I believe, by default?
Nuts for the property market, nuts for the mortgage It's a gimmick. At the end of the day, I think very few people will qualify in affordability criteria terms for 99% mortgages anyway. It's a good gimmick. But there will be some people who will qualify. It's not great for the market or homeowners and all of that. The only people it's good for are property investors and developers, because the Help to Buy scheme was exclusively for new build.
Yes.
So I can now do a flip of some terraced property and sell it on to some first-time buyer with a 99% mortgage.
Wow.
So it opens it up to smaller time developers who are not big house builders relying on Help to Buy. So it's going to be good for small developers and investors, crap for the market, crap generally, really.
So they can use it to buy the property, do the flip, and then sell it, and maybe...
No.
It's just for investors.
No. When I have bought a property and I've developed it, the end buyer is a homeowner or first-time buyer who can get a 99% mortgage to buy my property.
So it's going to be restricted just to first-time buyers or homeowners?
Yes, of course. But what it means is if I'm doing a flip, I've got an exit. I've got more a market for it. It's going to be crap for the property market, but for developers and small investors, it's going to be good.
I guess it's driving demand, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is probably
something that drives demand is good for us.
It is, but when it goes against a bit of inflation, what's going on? They're supposed to calm the market down.
No, but what you're talking, that's why I said it's crap.
Yeah.
But I said it's good for smaller developers and investors. There's an opportunity there.
And I think that's one of the biggest problems they're having right now is exit strategies.
Yes.
Because most property entrepreneurs right now, especially if they're doing a flip to sell, it's not easy because the prices are fluctuating and generally they are dropping, even though we were speaking to Andrew earlier, getting his view. The rate that they're saying it increased last month doesn't really tell the full story, does it?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Ranjan is agreed to do a podcast this month, so we're going to be grilling him a lot, preferably when he's not tired. After we got him happy with some food, he'll be a lot more relaxed, and he'll be adding huge value as per usual. Thank you, Ranjan.
Thank you.
Love it. Cheers. Hi everyone, we've got someone extra here who helps a lot of property entrepreneurs. Kim, nice meeting you. And is this your first time to the Baker Street? Second. So almost a newbie. And you're in help people get in the financing, right?
Absolutely, yes.
That's your specialism, isn't it? And you said you worked for a number of banks previously. Do you run your own brokerage, or are you working for someone?
I run my own brokerage for the last 6 years called Vibe Finance. Yes.
What's it called?
Vibe Finance.
Vibe. Oh, Vibe, as in V-I-B-E,
Yeah, not Vibe.
Where is it based?
In Portsmouth on the south coast.
Wow, and you must get a lot of service accommodation, furnished hotels there. That's thriving. Hope they know a good tax advisor, because the tax advantages are huge. And you've got to drop that in. So how do you feel you differentiate and help entrepreneurs? Because there is quite a few people in the industry, but not many help. So how do you help people in Portsmouth?
I think it's not just Portsmouth actually, it's investors all over the UK.
Okay.
But it's basically, we've come from a lending background, and I think that's really helped us to establish the whole credit process, how we get applications through quickly. And it's also focusing on niche areas, so there isn't really anything we don't do in relation to HMOs.
When you say niche areas, which is your specialty? Because financing is big. I'm ex-Santander, I worked 5 years for them. I saved about 100 million quid with them, so I understand financing. So I want to know your specific property, which you have a huge demand and understanding, because finance is so huge.
It's so vast. I think at the minute it's going to be HMOs, bridging finance. There's a lot of people adding value to homes at the moment and converting them to higher yielding properties. So HMOs is it.
So they're getting normal family homes,
Absolutely.
and then they're uplifting them by splitting rooms. Does the HMO work still in Portsmouth, in that area?
Yes, it's massive. It's an Article 4 area.
Have they got licensing?
It's licensing.
So just for the audience who don't know Article 4 for HMOs and things means you need to get a license, because a lot of the councils have. Always check them, and that's what Kim is mentioning. Sorry, Kim.
Yes, no, absolutely. So yes, converting normal houses to HMOs, small or large, letting to students or working professionals. There's a lot of people going into that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how they're making, because a lot of the universities. Are the universities still thriving?
Yes, universities are, and there's also, you've got local hospitals, you've got working professionals. So yeah, there's a massive demand for it still.
Wow, because I've had different people I know gone to university on the south coast, because it's quite a nice area. It's a bit of a trip to come here. How was your journey?
Fine, the trains are working, thank God. There's no strikes.
So have you found the event really good for you?
Really good.
You tagged a lot of entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I love meeting the guys from the Property Investor Awards. I think their stories and their backgrounds are brilliant, and I think it's quite motivating for everyone here. So yeah.
It is, and I find that I love talking to entrepreneurs. I actually did a post today about don't expect much stuff, always inspire people, because that's what you need to be around.
Yeah.
Kim, thank you so much. We'll tag you in, and obviously if you want to get financing, she may have a good contact, especially if you're around in the south coast and you're looking at HMOs, maybe the person to contact. We've got Bernadette, who's become a regular, who's inspiring many other entrepreneurs. So Bernadette, thank you so much as per usual.
Great to see you again.
Perfect.
Hi,
And
Ranjan.
that's why, you know, we get stars walking right past as we're asking. What is your key property strategy this year? Because I'm asking everyone this. What is the one that you feel is going to make a huge difference to your entrepreneur journey?
So for me, it's made up of a couple of different ones, and I'm focused on non-complex deals.
Wow.
So at the moment, I'm developing a property which I'm going to turn into a HMO. I'm doing this under PD. Now, in the last 3 weeks, I've had the PD approved, or prior approval approved, to go out by 6 metres. I've had the PD approved to do a rear and side extension, and I will be able to get a PD approved for a HMO licence.
Wow.
Because the house is not in an Article 4 area.
Right.
So it's about understanding what is happening in a particular area and using that to drive your property deals.
So, just a quick question on that. What's your exit on that deals?
So this I am developing and I'll be holding.
You're holding.
Yes.
So you're basically investing for the uplift, forcing the appreciation, refinancing and holding. Doing a classic bro.
But there is actually more potential.
Wow.
So the deals that I'm looking at is where I can add value. So ideally, if I get all the permissions, I'm actually going to title split the land and create a small dwelling at the back of the garden. I actually had a tree surveyor come out today, so I'm already in that process of putting in plans for the new development.
So on that point, just as I was speaking to Andrew Roberts earlier, and you'll see it, title splitting, very important to get structures right. Yeah, because you tend to not be able to have the freehold and leasehold in the same entity, right?
Yeah.
So you must have a group structure when you do this.
Yes,
Otherwise,
I've got a
perfect.
holdings company.
And then there's two subsidiaries that you're going to
And I've
move
got individual
subsidiaries.
SPVs, so
that's
special purchase vehicles.
Perfect, and that's going to be really powerful. So you're obviously getting the value from on purchase, right? Because you're obviously saving money. How are you sourcing the property? Always people want to know, how do you source property?
Well, I actually banked 150k up front because I bought it in an auction.
So you went auction. Love that. How did you find it? A lot of people always talk about auctions. A bit scary for some. How did you do that auction? Was that your first one in auction?
No, so I've taken part in auctions before, but
Right.
this is the first one that I've won.
Wow.
It happened in 4 days. I saw it on the Sunday night.
Wow.
I put a pre-offer in on the Wednesday. I also negotiated an exchange with delayed completion.
Wow.
So I got an extra 8 weeks to complete. That gave me enough time to get my funding together from my private investors and to apply for main lending. And also the advantage, so this is all my learnings the last couple of years really come into play. The best thing is because if I do get that dwelling at the back of the garden, I own that asset at the moment. So while I'm putting in full planning, I don't have to pay any additional holding costs because in the meantime, I'm building out the main development.
So is it going to be annex, and then obviously because you've got no debt, you're going to split it?
Yeah.
Wow, so you're making one property into two properties basically. Wow. So when you bought it, did it have anything already there?
Oh, so it's got a double garage there at the moment.
Right,
So
there wasn't a residential property there.
No.
The reason why I'm saying that, because annex is SDLT, gotta love the tax, so there is a tax saving if you know how that works and how to structure. Always get advice before the purchase. There's strict rules, there's certain case law that has to be met. But that's huge, so you're getting it, you're splitting, and then you're uplifting the value, refinancing. Huge. How did you get the deal through? You didn't answer that. Did you from the sourcing?
I found it on Rightmove.
It's possible. This is knowledge. And you're full time on all of this now, aren't you?
But also because I go to so many incredible networking events like Baker Street.
Wow.
I happen to know the auctioneer. Why? Because I met him at a property event, and that also gave me the confidence to take part. So there's so many different factors.
Bernadette, as per usual, she's added huge value in giving you some ideas how people are making money, even in a tough market right now, because right now values are fluctuating. Depending who you speak to, I think they're on the down low at the moment if you get the right deals. But that's my view. Thank you, Bernadette, as per usual.
Zee.
Perfect. Love it. Wow, what a Baker Street, February 2024. A bit tired, about to call it a day. Under the blue lights, what an event. Hope you enjoy the content. Please do like and comment below and what else you liked, what you would like to see going forward, and we'll do our best to make it count. Thank you so much.